Hello everybody, welcome back, and I've just received a parcel from the postman. Let's open it up and see what's inside. Okay, here we go. Yes! Seeds! I've got 2 different kinds of peas. Let's see what else we got. Tomatoes, spinach, good for a salad that. Rocket, that's another good salad, lots of salad. Courgettes, aubergines, and my sunflowers. Now I've ordered these because I received a postcard from my cousin today. Here it is. Isn't it nice? It's got some conger eels on it, I think. These are called conger eels. And on the back is a lovely message. But look what's taped to the side here. She sent me some sunflower seeds. All ready to go. So I'm going to plant these today. And if you've got some sunflowers at home, I'd love you to join me. Do you want to get ready to grow? Come on then, let's go. Whoa, hang on, what was that? Did you see that? What is that? Whoa. Look at that. It's a double-headed daisy. That's pretty rare. There it is. Okay, so I cheated a little bit. It's not really a double-headed daisy. This head comes off. But it's a cool trick that you can make quickly. If you've got some daisies on your lawn, you just need 2 of them, like this. And you choose one to pinch the stem off really quite close to the flower head. Just pinched it off there. And what you'll notice, it's a bit hard to see, but you'll notice a hole is left. And with your other daisy, you can push the stem into that hole. A little bit of a twist sometimes helps as well. And it stays on there quite nicely. So then you've got your very nice mutant double-headed daisy. You can hide it on your lawn, pretend to find it, and amaze your family. The double-headed daisy. Another thing you can do which is quite fun is to string daisies together in chains like this. So the way it works is you need to make a hole in the stem of a daisy. You can use a fingernail, but I've got a pin here. Make a hole and then pull the stem a little bit and you can see it makes more of a slit. And then push the stem of a new daisy through that hole. And you add to your chain. So you can see I've got a nice chain forming here. I think I'll add a few more daisies. Alright, so I've got my chain. How many daisies have I used? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 daisies. Now, to turn it into a complete chain, you need to just do the last stem. And this is how I do it. I make 2 slits in this stem here. One. And 2. And I put the stem through one and then through another. Like this. I just pull that through, and that sort of locks it in place as a double connection there. So there we have it. A daisy chain about the size of a wrist. How long can you make one? 20 daisies? 50 daisies? 100 daisies? Send me your efforts. Now, one thing I'm really excited about in my seed box was this one, the British Wildflowers Classic Collection. So using these seeds, I'm going to sow myself a butterfly and bee meadow. Now, it's really, really important to have one of these in your garden, especially if you're growing lots of fruit and veg. When you sow something like a bed of peas, you're sowing one type of plant in quite a large area. And the animals, birds and bees, they don't really like this. It's not very natural just to have one kind of plant growing. In the olden days, before humans, you would have had a big mixture of plants growing everywhere. Huge meadows with lots of different plants growing in them. And each one of these species will be home to a different kind of animal, a different kind of insect, or even a different kind of bee. So it's really important somewhere in your garden to have a bit that you let go wild with some of those really nice British species for the birds and the bees. So I'm going to dig a bed up and we're going to plant ourselves a wildflower bed, really just for the nature. Okay, so I'm just heading up to my back garden now. I'm going to show you where I'm going to put in the wildflower patch. Alright, so this is the wildflower bed from last year, and I let it go completely wild. Once I've planted a few seeds in there, I just let nature do its thing. And the reason is that really what we're trying to do is we're trying to provide a natural habitat for all the insects and animals that would like to live here. And because I had wildflowers growing here last year, the soil is already going to be full of seeds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear away some of the dead stuff, and then we're going to we're going to turn the soil over just a little bit, and then I'm going to throw the seeds down into the patch, and then give it a bit of a water, and just let nature do its thing. There we have it. I've dug the bed up and I've left just a few things that I'd like to keep. Left here this purple flower, and I've left a little bit of the forget-me-nots. This whole bed was covered with forget-me-nots, but they'll be back. All their seeds will stay in this bed. So I've left a couple of forget-me-nots ready to stick back in. Overall though, I've turned most of the soil over, which should reveal some of those seeds. They're the natural seeds from last year. And now I'm going to open up that wildflower packet and sprinkle a few extra ones. And then really I'm just going to leave it. Let nature do its thing. Let the bees, the butterflies and all the other animals move in. And this is going to really increase the nature in my garden, I think. Give everything a happy place to be. So let's get planting. The last step is just to rake the soil a bit more flat, which will also have the effect of burying some of the seeds. You don't want to bury them very deep at all. They are wild flowers, they will just grow naturally, but just gently moving a bit of the soil around will just hide some of those seeds from hungry birds. And there's the finished wildflower garden. It doesn't look like much yet, but in a few weeks it will burst into flower, and we'll have a really nice spot for the birds and the bees. Why not try it yourself in your garden? Well, I've cleared the bed, but have a look at all the stuff that's come from it. Got a massive, massive container full of all the plant material. And what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to chuck that away, because this is really precious to me, this stuff. You notice on the roots of the plant, there's all bits of soil, and this soil is like gold dust. It takes so long for soil to develop, and you do not want to be chucking away good soil. So we're going to put this in the composter, and I'll explain how it works. So there's my compost bin. I leave it in the sun so it gets nice and hot and it helps everything to break down. And inside you can see just my grass clippings from last week. And we're going to put all of the plant material collected on top of this. And what we're doing in one of these is we are making soil. At the bottom here we'll have some amazing fresh compost which I can then put back on the garden. And all of that life that I took away from the bed is going to get recycled and end up back in the soil. It's going to help my plants grow. And it goes. Oh, there we go. Now, insects, bugs, worms, they're going to eat all this over the next few months. And out the bottom, we're going to get amazingly good quality compost. Look what I found while I was digging. These beautiful skeleton Chinese lanterns. Now these are from last year, and they've been out all winter. Bugs and things have eaten the petals from them, but they've left the skeleton in place. That bit's obviously not as tasty. Isn't it lovely? And inside, I don't know if you can see, inside are some of the seeds that the flower made last year. They're sort of stuck to the inside there. But if I was to plant this in the ground, it would grow some of the Chinese lanterns again. Lovely. I think I'll keep that one for my nature table. Now, modern phones seem to have the most amazing cameras on them nowadays, and I thought we could hopefully use a phone or a tablet at home to try some nature photography. So you can obviously take photos using your normal photo setting, but many phones nowadays have got something called a slow-mo mode. And slow motion is really great for capturing insects or animals that move very quickly. Another cool mode to look at is hyperlapse mode. I think both Apple phones and Android phones have this mode. Hyperlapse mode, you place the camera in one position and you point it at something that moves quite slowly. And this mode will speed things up for you so that you can see them move in real time. Now both of the modes are useful for different things. If you're looking at something quick like a bee, try using the slow-mo mode. And if you're looking at something slow like a snail, try using the hyperlapse mode. So I'm going to take my camera out and see what I can see in the garden and see what sort of footage I can get. Amazing! So I was able to get this footage using just my phone, and it's amazing the sorts of things you can see using the slow motion and hyperlapse modes on a phone or a tablet. So have a go at home. Make sure you're careful with the phone, of course. You don't want to be dropping it. Have a go at home and send me your best nature footage. Okay, we're going to plant the sunflowers that I received on this lovely postcard from my cousin. There are the seeds taped on there. So to do your planting, you're just going to need a container to grow in. Got some pots here. And as you can see, I've filled the containers with some soil. Just soil for my garden actually, nothing special. So just make a little hole with your finger. Doesn't need to be too deep. And pop a seed in. Cover it up with your finger. Let's give them a water. Now sometimes you'll find that after watering the seed has sort of floated to the top. That's alright. Just make the hole again and just carefully move the seed back into its little hole. This one's done it as well, look. Just see the seed there? Just going to make a hole for it and move it back in. Seeds are quite hardy things really, so I'm not going to hurt the seed by moving it. Okay, my sunflowers are planted. Now they can't spend their whole life in these little pots. So what I'll have to do is let them sprout, and then once they get about, I don't know, 5-10 centimeters high, I'll have to do something called potting them on, which basically means carefully moving them into a bigger pot. Now you can plant your sunflowers in a huge pot to begin with, but I just happen to have these little pots lying around, so that's why I use them. Right, let's pop them up here on this sunny sill. Ready, set, grow.